Hey everybody, welcome to my new channel, Agnes Dora by Shavonda. I thought with this time in my life, it would probably be best if I started a channel that was centric on what I'm doing now, with my life, with this business, and it's a one-stop shop for anyone to ask me questions pertaining to Agnes and Dora. I have another channel called the Vonda 83, which is beauty and skincare and family and life and baby gear related. And I did touch on Lularoe a few times in that channel, but I figured with this, I'm gonna start fresh and give you all a safe place to come and ask your questions. So I'm gonna paint this video with kind of a broad stroke because I've gotten a lot of the same type of questions regarding my move from Lularoe over to Agnes and Dora. So if you wanna hear how I transitioned from Lularoe to now Agnes and Dora, then just keep watching. Okay, first things first, I was not too happy in the end with the OC, we call it the other company. I felt like what I was doing wasn't really worth my while. I wasn't seeing my kids a ton, I was doing a lot of thankless work, but I was profitable. And when I was with Lularoe, I was making really good money and I had a great VIP group. I cultivated a wonderful shopping community with people, and that was kind of like the most important thing. But we were facing a crossroads when the time came for us to decide when we were moving, if we were moving, if I had to pack up Lularoe today, would I pick it up in 6 months and keep going as if nothing ever happened? And with things changing, and this is okay, things moving in different directions that are not in line with what you want to do, it was just time for me to go. So I felt like I wasn't ever really in the right tribe. Do you know what I mean? And I pushed through and I persevered, and I'm an entrepreneur at heart. You guys know that. Or if you don't know that, I am. I stay home with 2 kids full time, and about 2 years ago, my husband looked at me and said, I think we should have you stay home full time to be with our kids. And I agreed. So, but before that, I worked every single day of my life. And I've always wanted to be of service to people and work and make money. And then the bottom falls out and you're faced with having to move or buy the house you're living in or rent or build a new house and live with your in-laws for 6 months, and it makes you start to make some hard decisions. So I decided it was time for me to leave Lularoe. At the same time, I was kind of putting it into the universe that I was looking for something else that was more in line with my spiritual and emotional and business-oriented goals. I didn't know that there was a company like Agnes and Dora out there until I started seeing them on Periscope and on Facebook, but it was kind of the same business model where you're selling clothing from your home via online or in-home pop-ups, but the clothes were cuter. Sorry, just saying. But it was true. The clothes were a lot cuter and more in line with what I wanted to wear, and I started buying pieces and I was actually excited to get dressed again. So that was my first sign. The next sign was that I spoke to one of the referring reps, which is gonna be your team leader basically, and I instantly connected with her with the goals she had and her level of education and the support she had from her family. It felt very synergistic and right where I needed to be. So I took a leap, and after we closed escrow on this house, yay! Escrow is terrifying, by the way. I don't suggest anybody do it. Just kidding, everybody should do it. It was terrifying. But after we closed escrow, I was ready to keep going with what I was doing. So I'm done with Lularoe. It just wasn't for me anymore. I was honest with that, and I felt that, and I wanted to kind of see that end through. I finished up and moved on to Agnes and Dora. So I onboarded after the queue, which is like a wait of about 4 weeks. I waited in the queue and prepped and, kind of just got myself together. You've got to realize we just closed escrow, and then about 3.5, 4 weeks later, I got the email that I was now an Agnes and Dora rep. So it all happened very quickly, but lots of research and meditation and just kind of reaching out to the universe for guidance on this took place in that time. So here we are. Now I'm an Agnes and Dora rep, and it feels really good to finally be in a company that is in line with where I want my business to go. Buffy is our founder and CEO, and she is absolutely amazing. She could be your friend. And that is kind of what you want in a CEO and a leader, someone that you want to be like, and we all love Buffy. I actually just came from convention a few weeks ago. I left my kids out of state for the very first time, and I cried, but I knew it was something I wanted to do, and I actually felt like it was something I had to do because I never felt that connection with Lularoe. I felt that connection with my customers, and I wanted to elevate their shopping experience, but I didn't feel that with Lularoe. So I knew I had to get on the plane. I had to stop crying first, and then I had to get on the plane. But once I did and I got to Utah and I went to convention, I knew I was exactly where I needed to be. And it was 3 full days of my team had like 17 of us from our huge team go, and we were like best friends, and we were all the same kind of thinkers. We were witty, we were funny, we were chatty, we were goal oriented and aggressive with what we wanted. And I knew right then and there that I was in the right place. So a lot of you guys have been messaging me. A lot of my Lularoe friends were like, hey, what's the deal? You know, like you just came from Lularoe and it looked like things were going really well for you. Well, that's because they were. I was profitable. I had a really great interactive group, but I just felt like it was my time to go. And you've got to trust your gut instinct on those kinds of things, right? So I did. But I'll tell you that a lot of the research I did after was what kind of kept me from ever considering going back. Remember, we almost considered a hiatus for a minute, and that was kind of the nail in the coffin that this was not something I was going to ever go back to. But the transition was very easy. I was excited about it, and obviously I was in this office, so all I had to do was move some racks and some hangers, and bada bing, bada boom. I've been with Agnes and Dora about a month and a half now, and I'm so happy I'm in this place. I feel very calm. The company's vibe is very mature and calm, and wearable, beautiful clothing, and you're an actual buyer. Everything you see behind me is because I bought it. I gauged what my customers wanted, and just like a retail buyer, just like what my husband does, I buy my inventory based on my budget and what's working for me and my group and my customers, and you go from there. So you definitely get to buy your own inventory. The company is so new and young and fresh that you really get the opportunity to kind of watch it grow, but they listen to everything that we say. We are their sounding board. So when I went to convention, there were times when we would say something, or they would say something, and we would speak up and say, well, for our business model or for how we're working our business for the most part from home, that might not work. And they actually listened to us. It was creepy, but super amazing. So I feel very calm in here now. I package orders the same way I did before, but it's not as frantic. The shopping experience has always been cornerstone for me. I want everyone to have an elevated shopping experience. That's what will set me apart from any other rep, right? Any other shopping experience. And let's face it, most people are moving towards shopping online exclusively. I mean, Nordstrom's are closing. Nordstrom's. So with my business now, it's just more curated and directional. And I say that a lot because it wasn't before. I would order a box and I didn't know what was coming in that box. And my husband would scratch his head and say, it's essentially a gamble, and your personality will sell the contents of that box, but those aren't sound investment choices that we're making here. So now with Agnes and Dora, I get to do exactly what I was doing before, but my way. I get to buy my inventory. I get to make smart choices about my business and invest wisely. And at the same time, I'm still curating those relationships. I virtually have my same VIP group who are ride or die, and they trust me. And I said, I'm moving on to something bigger and better, and I want you to trust me. And they did. So numbers, you guys are probably asking about numbers. I can say with my initial investment, I made it back in a month. But you guys know me, I follow the rule of pay back your initial investment. So I am slowly but surely paying off bits and pieces, reinvesting where I need to, but in a lump sum amount of liquid cash, yes, I made back my initial investment fairly quickly. As far as Agnes and Dora being MLM, is it pyramid? Is it MLM? It's really not. And I'll explain why. So Agnes and Dora does not operate on a compensation plan as of yet. So a compensation plan would be like Arbonne or Unique or Lularoe, where you have teams of people underneath you, your downline, and then you are compensated monetarily with a percentage of either their sales or their purchases from the company. And Agnes and Dora is not operating that way yet because we're so new and young that the way it's going now is we're basically team building, but we're being rewarded for training other people with what's called rep credits. So you get rep credits for basically bringing people on who want to join underneath you, and then you get rep credits to buy more inventory to run your business. So I would take that any day over busting my hump to try to recruit people. I hate that word recruit. I hate that. Your tribe should be attracted to your vibe. And I 100% agree with that. Now that I'm here, we were all put together on this team for a reason. And it's because our energies just aligned. The stars aligned and our energies aligned. So I don't recruit. I don't go out and I don't ask anybody who wants to join because A, it's a larger investment, and B, you have to really want it. I mean, you've got to think like a retailer in this space. It's changing the game, basically. It's revolutionizing working from home. And it's a game changer, but you've got to be committed to it. So I say that if anybody wants to, and I've gotten tons of PMs, I am so happy to answer any questions. I probably get 5 to 6 PMs a day from very, very nice women who are just looking for a little bit more information about A, how I got out of Lularoe, why I got out of Lularoe, and how Agnes Dora is doing for me. Those are the 3 main points most people hit, and I wanted to make this video and start this channel to help people that had those questions, because it seems to me that that's what I've been able to help people with. Call me the Noah's Ark of leaving Lularoe. Just kidding, I'm not Noah's Ark. Woo! These lights are hot, hot. So what else? So that's pretty much it. That's where I am, a month and a half in with Agnes and Dora, having a fantastic time. I will update you here on this channel if you'd like to subscribe. You can find me on Facebook, Agnes and Dora by Shavonda, if you want to see my shopping community. You can shop 24/7 and see what my site looks like, shopwithshavonda.com, super easy. Or you can like and subscribe this channel to be updated when I post here, answering questions, giving you guys updates on the company. For the most part, a lot of people had the same types of questions for me, so I wanted to jump on here and post a video for you guys, and I hope I answered your questions mostly. Numbers-wise, I try not to get too specific. Oh, numbers, speaking of numbers, currently there are about 2,700 active reps with Agnes and Dora. That's less people than were in my high school when I graduated. True story. So it feels super intimate, and Buffy has a vision for this company that is going to be just peaceful and calm and amazing and mature and well thought out. Buffy is really slow and steady wins the race, and we all stand behind that and we believe that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. Again, please like and subscribe if you want more updates about me and my journey with Agnes and Dora. Any comments or questions, leave them down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.